it's Polly here, and today I wanted to talk about one of the most simple but powerful spiritual tools that I use on a daily basis, and that's journaling. Before we dive into the nuts and bolts, I wanted to share how journaling is more than just writing things down. It's actually a form of communication, not just with ourselves, but with our spiritual team. I help empaths to transform overwhelm into confidence and clarity so that they can set boundaries, embrace their intuition, and fully step into their intuitive and spiritual gifts. Here's the thing. Keeping things in your head is not the same as writing things down. And here's why. When we keep things in our heads, they can be really abstract and fuzzy and kind of random. But when we put pen to paper, we give our thoughts, emotions, and intentions a place to land. I like to think of it like writing a letter to my spiritual team, my guides, my ancestors, my angels, the universe. I'm saying, here's where I'm at, here's what I'm calling in, and here's what I'm grateful for. And over time, they begin to write back in the form of signs, synchronicities, and sudden clarity. You don't need anything fancy for this. All you need is a pen and a notebook. And what I like to do is create a ritual around it. So I light a candle, I have a hot drink, I create a cozy space, and I take a few deep breaths before I start. Actually, I like to meditate for a little while, but at minimum, put your hands on your heart and take a few deep breaths in and begin to feel grounded and centered before you start. You can close your eyes as you do that and allow your heart to fill with gratitude and your mind to clear and bring yourself into a really internal space. Here's the structure I like to follow. So the first thing we're going to do is write down 5 big picture intentions. And what these are how we want to feel in our life. So for example, you could write down, I feel fulfilled. I feel whole and complete. I feel comfortable in my skin. However you want to be feeling, go ahead and write that down. Now, the next thing we're going to write down is 5 daily intentions. So how I like to liken this to is write down the things that you're going to do today, and then write down how you want to feel and how you want those things to go. So for example, I feel focused and flowing during my yoga practice. I feel productive and clear at work. I have a great time driving the kids to school. It's fun and playful. However you want those things that are going to happen today in your life anyways, what you want to do is start front loading how it's going to go. And what this does is it allows your own vibration to match the vibration that you're calling in. And things magically realign themselves in order to make this happen. The next thing you're going to do is if you have a big event coming up, for example, you're going on a big trip, or you're moving house, or you're planning a wedding, whatever it is, what you're going to do is you're going to write down each and every step and how you want it to go. So I have a really cool real world example of this. So my mother, who's in her mid-80s, had a big event coming up in her life that she wanted to celebrate. And so I got the idea to take her to the Maldives. And I knew there was going to be a lot of moving parts and a lot of opportunities for things to go sideways. And so what I did was I wrote down every single step of the trip and how I wanted it to go and how I wanted us to feel. And then I also had her do the same thing. So for example, we have a smooth trip to the airport. We get there with plenty of time to spare to check in. We have a nice person checking us in. everything is flowing. We get through security with no line, and that actually happened. I mean, the whole trip was miraculous, but I wrote it all down, and I really visualized also before the trip each and every step and how I wanted it to go. And so you're going to go along like that, write down every step. And then for my mother, she really wanted to swim with a whale shark, and that can be really rare. And sure enough, we saw a whale shark, and she jumped right in and swam with the whale shark. So by the end of it, she was a total believer in setting intentions, and every single thing we asked for happened. So if you have a big picture event coming up, go ahead and write that down step by step, how you'd like it to go and how you want it to feel. So the next step is to write down your wins. So whatever you feel like you did well yesterday, maybe you crushed your new diet plan, or maybe you gave a great presentation at work, or maybe you had a super fun time with the kids. Whatever it is that you want to celebrate, something that you felt like you did really well yesterday, go ahead and write down those wins and allow yourself to feel the feeling of crushing it. So then the next thing we're going to write down is 5 things we're grateful for. So this could be allowing yourself to put your hand on your heart to start with, actually, and allow your heart to fill with gratitude. Good. And now bring to mind 5 things you're grateful for and write those down. So it could be, I feel healthy today. I have hot water. My car is working great. Whatever. They can be very small things, but the important thing is to acknowledge them and to feel grateful for everything that's good in your life right now, and allow that feeling to expand in your heart. So not just rotely writing it down, but feeling grateful in your heart as you do the process. So the next thing we're going to write down are signs and synchronicities. So these could be animal sightings. Like, for example, the other day I was going kayaking, and as I got into the river, I saw this bald eagle fly right by, which was awesome. Or the other day I was meditating and I really needed some help, so I was asking my team for help, and then all of a sudden a hummingbird came and flew right here for a long time, right in front of my face. And that is my symbol for my grandmother. And all of a sudden it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. She's here, she's hearing me. Or maybe you see repeated numbers, or you hear a song, or somebody suddenly says something that's exactly what you needed to hear. So what you're going to do is you're going to acknowledge all of those signs and synchronicities and write them down right now. Journaling is such a simple act, but it opens up this whole world of connection and awareness. When you allow yourself to make it a ritual by lighting a candle, having a hot drink, creating a cozy space, you're saying to your spiritual team, I'm here, I'm listening, and we're co-creating. So if you've been keeping everything in your head, I invite you to start writing things down. Start small, be consistent, and then start to watch how things really begin to shift in your life. I help empaths to transform overwhelm into confidence and clarity so that they can set boundaries, embrace their intuition, and fully step into their intuitive and spiritual gifts. If this is something you'd like to explore, go ahead and click the link in the description and book in for a complimentary clarity call, and we can explore whether working together is a good fit. Thanks so much for watching. Namaste.